All right, good evening, everybody. We are going to open up for the public hearing. The first public hearing for tonight is Community Development 2027 HUD Grant Project Solicitation. The Deputy Clerk will read the notification.
Please take notice that the Town Board of the Town of Warwick did hereby set a public hearing on May 14th, 2026 at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter may be heard at the Town Hall, 132 Kings Highway, Warwick, New York, on proposed application for FY-2027 Orange County Community Block Grant Program. The Town of Warwick invites public comments and suggestions regarding projects to be considered for funding under the Orange County Community Development Block Grant Program. Under this program, a variety of physical improvements as listed below are eligible for funding, acquisition, and disposition or real property, public works, public facilities, or site improvements, code enforcement, housing and health codes, clearance, demolition, and rehabilitation for public use or economic development, housing rehabilitation loan and grants, special projects for elderly and handicapped, provision of public services, shelters, clinics, senior nutrition, etc., payment of non-federal shares of other grant programs, relocation payments, and assistance. The Town of Warwick will be considering projects to be submitted to the Orange County Development Block Grant Program. The deadline for submittal is June 12, 2026 at 4 p.m. All interested persons will be given the opportunity to be heard. All written comments must be received by the board at or prior to the public hearing.
Thank you. At this time, we've received no written comments from anyone. Do we have anyone in the public that would like to offer any Community Development Block Grant Program projects? So it looks like that's not the reason everyone is here. The town board does have a proposed project that we would like to submit for Community Development Block Grant funding, and that is a $275,000 project to rehabilitate the bathrooms at the Mountain Lake Park pickleball courts. The facility does have an old bathroom house and snack stand on the property, and we would like to apply to the Community Development Block Grant Program for new ADA accessible bathrooms as well as a first aid stand at the Mountain Lake Park pickleball and pool facility. Any comments from the board? Any comments from the public on our proposed submission to the block grant program? There being none, I make a motion that we close the public hearing. Second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion approved, and the public hearing is now closed. The second public hearing for tonight is regarding introductory local law number 1 of 2026, the Town of Warwick Town Board moratorium on the issuance of peddlers and or solicitors permits and licenses. The Deputy Clerk will read the notification.
Please take notice that the Town Board of the Town of Warwick will hold a public hearing on the 14th day of May 2026 at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter may the matter be heard. At Town Hall, 132 Kings Highway, Warwick, New York, 10990, on a proposed introductory local law number 1 of 2026 entitled the Town of Warwick Temporary Moratorium on the Acceptance and Processing of Applications for Peddler or Solicitor License. The purpose of this local law is to promote the public health, safety, and welfare by enacting a 6-month moratorium on the acceptance and processing of applications for a peddler, solicitor, or canvasser license in the Town of Warwick in order to afford the town board time to develop and enact local regulations sufficient to oversee the approval of the same. A copy of the proposed local law has been posted on the town's website and is on file in the office of the town clerk and available for inspection by interested parties during town clerk's business hours. The town board will, at the above date, time, and place, hear all persons interested in the subject matter hereof. Persons may appear in person or by agent. All written communications addressed to the town board must be received by the town board at or prior to the public hearing.
I don't know where that static is coming from.
Might be one of the microphone connections.
Shut off your mic, Tom. Oh, I think we found it. No? Okay. Hopefully it's not unbearable for those of you who are watching from home. So essentially, this is a local law to put a moratorium on for-profit door-to-door solicitation in the town of Warwick. This will not stop not-for-profits such as Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts going door-to-door. It will not stop public utilities such as Optimum, WVT, and others. And it will not stop constitutionally protected door-to-door activities such as political and religious. What we're trying to do is prevent for-profit companies from going door-to-door to people's homes, trying to buy their homes, trying to sell goods, trying to sell solar. Those types of activities, once adopted, will be prohibited in the town of Warwick. We've been working with our local villages, the Village of Florida, Village of Greenwood Lake, and the Village of Warwick, to make sure that we have a uniform law throughout the entire town to prohibit it both in the town as well as in each of the villages. So the town board is very supportive of that. Before we open it up to the public for any comment, does the board have any comment on this local law?
No.
Okay, we'll open it up to the public. Does the public have any comment that they would like to offer on this moratorium? Yes, sir. If you would please come up to the podium, state your name for the record.
Well, when I switch it, I'll check the microphone wires.
Just push the button.
Push the button at the bottom.
Ah, got it. All right. Hi, my name is Eric Storkman. I'm a resident of the Village of Warwick. I live on Ivy Place. Do I understand that the law has been passed, that you just, or you have yet to vote on it?
No, the law has not been passed. It is proposed as a moratorium, and the process before we can even vote on it is we have to open it up to the public
Understood.
and have a public hearing.
Okay.
And then the town board does plan on voting for this tonight.
Great. I just want to make sure I understood that. So my wife, Jean, and I moved to the Village of Warwick 7 years ago. We love it here very much, and we wish to do anything we can to protect it. Before we lived here, we lived for 26 years in Highland Mills, which is part of Woodbury, next to Monroe, next to Curious Joel. And I wish to express my very strong support for the no solicitation law. And I plea that should the law be passed, that it be vigorously enforced. Jean and I previously, it was a beautiful community in Highland Mills, and we know how fragile a community can be, especially if there's a determined group of people who wish to come in and take over a neighborhood, and we went through that. There were no laws that I was aware of when we lived in Highland Mills to protect the residents from solicitation and harassment, and we went through that. We went through it in 2 different neighborhoods. So again, I just really thank you for your consideration, and we wish to support the passing of this law. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for offering those comments. Anyone else wishing to comment on the moratorium? Okay. I make a motion that we close the public hearing. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. At this time, I would like to call to order the town board meeting for May 14th. If you'd all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Would the deputy clerk please call roll?
Supervisor Dwyer.
Here.
Councilman Kowal.
Here.
Councilman D'Angelo.
Here.
Councilman Shuback.
Here.
Councilman Mattingly.
Here. Thank you. All right, I make a motion that we accept the regular meeting minutes from April 23rd, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. I make a motion that we pay all audited bills. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Correspondence is listed as addendum number 1. Is there any board discussion on any of the correspondence?
Nope.
Okay. We'll move right into reports of boards and department heads, beginning with Police Chief John Rader.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I just have a few items to discuss with the board tonight. I attended the graduation ceremony for the Orange County Police Academy this morning. Our department congratulates our newest officers, Chase Toth, Cole Ashovio, and Timothy Vreeland, on successfully completing the Academy's intensive 6-month training program. Additionally, Officer Vreeland received the Academic Achievement Award, while Officer Lashovio earned the Physical Fitness Award. All 3 officers will begin their field training program with the department on Monday. Construction began this week on the grant-funded police station renovation project. This project is expected to last approximately 6 months. While operations will continue uninterrupted throughout the renovation, there may be occasional inconveniences as we progress. We appreciate the public's patience and understanding during this process. The department will be participating in the Mental Health Awareness Celebration on Railroad Green this Saturday from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. in support of this year's theme, Youth Mental Health and Wellness. We strongly encourage community members to attend this important event. This week also marks National Police Week, a time to recognize and honor the service and sacrifice of our law enforcement officers across the country, particularly those who have given their lives in the line of duty. We thank the members of our department and all law enforcement professionals for their continued dedication to protecting and serving our community. And I also want to thank the town board for the social media posts that went out earlier this week, as well as the residents that have been dropping off some food to our staff. That's all I have, unless there's any questions from the board.
Thank you, Chief, and I just want to add to that. After I read the statement that I put out on social media, I was thinking about it, and just as our first responders, our volunteer EMTs and fire department members, we also have to thank the spouses and the family members that allow their husbands and wives and brothers and sisters to do the work that most people will not and cannot do. So we also keep the spouses and the family members in our thoughts as their family members do a very dangerous job and one that is widely needed in our community. So thank you, and thank you to your family for allowing you to do what you've done for so many years.
We appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay. DPW Deputy Commissioner Walter Schultz.
Good evening, everybody. Been doing a whole bunch of work on Minturn Road, replacing a bunch of driveway pipes, and we're going to do some crossovers pretty soon. We did one on Lower Hillman across the road. Trying to prepare it, I guess, for paving, hopefully. Minturn Road and East Ridge we are ditching, cleaning them up, and then doing numerous amounts of that. Iron Mountain, we had some dead tree cleanup that we did. And let's see here, mowing, we're doing the cul-de-sacs. I got the boom mower out, starting to mow roadsides. And pothole repair, they're just going with the complaints, and then they're just riding around with the hot box, filling holes wherever they find them. Then sweeping, he's been sweeping in intersections and all the developments right now, trying to clean that up. Road signs, whatever gets knocked down, Anthony's been fixing that. We've been hauling in some item for all the pipe work we've been doing, because we're going through that. And then the town parks, they're just mowing and taking care of the bathrooms and doing their normal gig.
Great.
That's it.
Any questions for Walter?
Any questions? No?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Water Sewer Deputy Commissioner McPherson.
Good evening, everyone. Just a few quick items tonight. It's a busy time of the year for us with the summer water in Greenwood Lake. With how bad the winter was this past winter, there's been a lot more leaks this year to fix than I can ever remember in the past, but the system is fully on. We fixed leaks and replaced pipe on several roads through Indian Park and Furnace Brook. We still have several spots of the road to patch, and I'll coordinate that with the DPW to get all the spots patched. We replaced the leaking water line. That's been a chronic problem for us on Park Drive and Wickham Knolls. The Pine Island Well project, the DEC still has the application under review after all this time. The supervisor and myself continue to try and nudge them along to get the well put online, but until the final approval is given, we cannot use the well. We've been doing a lot of 2026 Orange County Health Department inspections at our water facilities. Outside of the recommended repairs or minor system updates, the reports have come back mostly good. The sewer plants have been running mostly well with no notable disasters this past month. We've been within the limits the past few months, and we're always making small repairs and doing maintenance to keep them going. That's all I have.
Any questions for Matt? Thank you, Matt. We know it was a lot of work getting that summer water turned on, especially after the brutal winter that we had, so good job to the guys. Yeah, it's been tough. Councilman Cole will give the recreation report for
Yes.
Sam Walter.
Yes, thank you. I'm giving the report on her behalf. The pool work continues as we prepare for opening day, Saturday, May 23rd. Water is being delivered tomorrow and the new fence will be going up early next week as well. Lifeguard orientation is on Sunday. Starting in July, besides swim lessons, we are now able to offer senior aqua fitness classes on Thursday mornings in the heated pool. That sounds pretty good. This is going to be a free program for seniors, and it's with the help of local nonprofit called Small Things that is able to provide this program to our seniors. Samantha Walters will be posting information as soon as how to register for the program, and she'll make sure all the senior centers have the information as well. Thank you, Small Things, for helping bring such a great program to our seniors. Pool membership passes are now on sale at Town Hall. Best prices are now, as prices go up on June 1st. Hope you can join us this summer at the pools. For the other parks, the park has been busy with pickleball clinics, spring weddings, and retreats. At a recent field trip in Sanfordville Elementary School, students visiting learning about pond ecosystems, habitats, and biodiversity. They also hid their natural insect homes along the hiking trail called Hidden Hollow Trail, and they made small boats to float or sink down the pond's outlet stream. It was a great day. We got to thank the park volunteers for their work on the trails, and the supervisor came out to welcome the children and families, and you could really see how much the residents were enjoying the park. And there's great news, the Hudson River Valley Greenway Council, specifically the McHenry Community Planning Grant, has just awarded the Town of Warwick a $20,000 grant for developing park master plan for Wickham Woodlands Park. It's a great park, and it's going to be even better with some great planning for the future. Thank you to all the local groups that wrote letters of support for this grant, including the Mearns Bird Club, Sustainable Warwick, Sue Gardner, the town historian, Village Mayor Newhart, and the Warwick Golden Seniors, and the local Boy Scout troops, 45 and more. That's your report.
Good, thank you. Michael, not to put you on the spot, did you want to report on anything Coolish Recycling Drive and any other updates from Climate Smart?
Yes.
Okay.
So, wanted to thank the town. I forgot my sunglasses. I want to thank the town for once again working with Sustainable Warwick on the Coolest Recycling Drive. This year we collected more than 200 appliances. We went over, actually, we got 16 air conditioners that we gave to Sam at Mountain Lake Park. People said they were still usable. One person came in and said they got heat pumps for their homes, and so they had these window air conditioners they just want to get rid of, but they were perfectly good. So she has those and one mini fridge. I think we helped residents save about $3,000 on recycling fees doing this. And of course, we avoided estimated emissions of about 160 metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalent, which is a lot considering we spent less than $1,000. And the DEC will be hosting a climate solutions summit in Utica, where they've asked me to talk about the coolest recycling drive. People all over the state will be learning about this example that we've set here in Warwick.
Great. Well, great job, Michael. We appreciate your work on that and the energy audit that you're doing for us, which is saving us money every time you look at something. So keep up the great work. Thank you. Okay, we'll move right into town board reports, beginning with Councilman D'Angelo.
Okay, good evening. For the Warwick Valley Humane Society, the shelter has an assortment of animals for adoption. Big and small dogs, cats and kittens, white ruby-eyed rats, rabbits, bungies, aka parakeets, and 2 hamsters. And they're having an upcoming fundraiser, a Weiner and Friends Fest, May 30th at the Warwick Dog Park on Union Corners Road from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The event will include a costume parade, contests, prizes, vendors, and food trucks, and it's only $20 entry fee per family. Sponsor banners are available, Contact Warwick Humane at 845-986-2473. It will be a tail-wagging good time. Their daily supplies are low. They need paper towels, bleach, simple green cleaner, distilled white vinegar, 13-gallon scent-free garbage bags, and pate-style canned cat and kitten food. That's all I have for the Humane Society. For the Town of Warwick Senior Friendly Visitor Program, I have 2 months here. For March, the number of neighbors assisted was 42. The total number of volunteers assisting those neighbors was 26. The total number of services provided by those 26 neighbors was 273. The total number of hours provided by them was 177.20. That's for March. For April, the number of neighbors assisted was 38. The total number of volunteers assisting them were 29. Those 29 volunteers put up 279 services for a total number of hours of 204. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Kohler, your report, please.
Thank you. Well, this weekend is our big weekend for the Founder's Day. The celebration of our 250th anniversary continues. It's going to be at the Stonewall Inn on County Route 1. And it's going to go from 1 to 4. There's going to be reenactors. There's going to be families there that were here during the Revolutionary period. And you can interview them, see how they contributed to the Revolutionary War, how they lived, how they reacted to what was going on at that time. You get a little bit more insight on that. And something to keep your eyes out on your calendar is on June 6th up in Greenwood Lake. An organization affiliated with West Point is also going to have some events up there where they're going to have a Medal of Honor winner or award person. They're going to have the chain link on display there, and they're going to have other events and reenactments up there as well. I think it'll be on the town website. There's going to be a link to it. I just got this information today. And so I'm looking forward to participating in that too. Plus, also pencil in the 4th of July parade up in Greenwood Lake. It's going to be fabulous. That's all I have.
Great, thank you. Councilman Mattingly, your report, please.
It's starting to be summertime, so there's a lot of events going on throughout our towns and villages. For the one more time, the Warwick Valley Chamber of Commerce, 2 ribbon cuttings coming up. Bear Aesthetics Med Spa grand opening is Friday, May 15th. That's tomorrow from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. 127 Route 94, Unit 1 in Warwick. Admission is free. For contact information, call 201-564-7521. And the ribbon cutting for Access PT is also tomorrow at 4 p.m., 13 Forester Avenue in Warwick. The Winslow Therapeutic Center Duck Derby is the 35th annual Duck Derby, is Sunday, May 17th in the village of Warwick along Way Yonder Creek from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Admission is free. There is no fee for admission, but ducks are $5 each. For more information, visit winslow.org/wellness. The 6th annual golf outing is Thursday, May 21st at Crystal Springs Golf Club. Join the Warwick Valley Chamber for a day of fun with friends and colleagues. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner are included with plenty of food and drink throughout the day on the course. Also raffles, prizes, goodie bags, and a 50-50 to benefit the Warwick Valley Chamber High School Scholarship Fund. The Florida Chamber of Commerce will have its May Mixer on Wednesday, May 20th at 5 p.m. at Jansen's Nursery, 161 Glenmere Avenue in Florida. Refreshments and pizza will be served. RSVP to Donna Benson at dbenson1019@gmail.com. And a date for the Florida Family Fun Fest is Sunday, August 9th, 2026 from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Vendors and sponsors may contact at floridanychamber.com. The Greenwood Lake Chamber Spring Mixer is Wednesday, May 20th, from 6 to 9 p.m. at Trattoria Italiana, 75 Windermere Avenue in Greenwood Lake. It's BYOB. And the Greenwood Lake Street Fair is on Saturday, June 13th, 2026, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Windermere Avenue. Vendor sign up and more information, visit gwnychamber.com/events. And finally, for a full list of the events going on in Pine Island, at the Pine Island Chamber, visit pineislandny.com/events. And that is my report tonight.
Thank you. Councilman Schuback?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I just want to remind people this time of year, a lot of people are doing yard work, and if they have a lot of brush, they like to burn it. One, please notify the local fire department or PD that you are. Two, you need to man it the whole time, and you have to have a water source, like a garden hose, to put it out in case it gets out of control. It's just, that's one of the 3 things you have to do. Just, because a lot of people like to burn their brush as they're cleaning up, so, we don't need to have a forest fire because someone's not taking care of doing what they're supposed to.
Great, thank you. Deputy Clerk, your report, please.
Thank you, Supervisor. The total fees collected for the month of April were $42,927.82, and the total fees paid for the month of April were $3,325.42. We received 4 bid proposals to fill the pools at Mountain Lake Park. The first one came from Malley Trucking. Total bid was $470 per load. The second one came from TAM Enterprises. The bid proposal was $600 per load. The third one was from Dave's Lawn Care. Bid proposal was $625 per load. And the fourth one came from Spindler Bulk. The bid proposal was $500 per load. Also, the late night at the county clerk's office, Kelly Eskew, by appointment only. The third Wednesday of the month from 5 p.m. to 6:30. You'd have to call and make an appointment. You would be able to apply for your passport, file a doing business as, drop off your pistol permit forms, or get certified copies of your deed or divorce decree. We also received 4 bid proposals for seal coating at the Warwick Transit Center parking lot. The first one came from Seal Pro. The total bid amount was $12,400. The second one came from Duffy's Pavement Marketing. The bid proposal was $19,197. The third one came from James Young Paving. The bid proposal was $15,860. And the fourth one was from Dan Russ Paving. Bid proposal of $10,724.50. We also received 3 bid proposals for the final grading and site work for the Mountain Lake Park water infiltration and drainage improvements. The first one came from Ground Control Excavating. Total bid proposal was $29,975. The second one came from Dave's Lawn Care. Total bid proposal was $32,952.60. And the third one came from Allied Excavating, Inc. Total bid proposal was $33,476. That's all I have.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, my report. Starting with the road work, obviously if you've driven here, you probably encountered some degree of traffic or road work throughout our town and villages. That is going to continue until the fall, and then it will restart again next year. There are a lot of projects happening throughout the town of Warwick right now. Some may argue more than they should have, but it's all for a good purpose, for a good reason. They're trying to rebuild the infrastructure throughout Warwick, provide new sidewalks in our downtowns, and better roads for all of us to travel on. It's going to get more painful than it gets before it gets better, I assure you of that. We heard that the roundabout, which was originally scheduled for the spring of this year, has been pushed to next year, and that is because they identified a conflicting detour with the culvert project that is soon to begin at Larry's Deli. The Homestead Village area box culvert is a single lane only at this point in time, and that's going to continue for the next 3 to 4 weeks, and possibly up to 5 weeks. But once that's wrapped up, they're going to move to the box culvert in the village of Warwick right by Larry's Deli, and there will be a detour there that will be a full road closure by Larry's Deli, just east of South Street. They're continuing to work in the downtowns, the Village of Warwick and the Village of Florida. It's been an incredible burden, I'm sure, for a lot of the business owners. Please support your local businesses as best as you possibly can during this time, because I'm sure it is quite a struggle for them to get by. From a town infrastructure standpoint, we are nearly complete with the Mountain Lake Park pool project. We did construct a new pool at Mountain Lake Park, a kiddie pool, to try to get some of the younger kids out of the larger pools and give them a safer area where they can learn to swim. Those projects are moving ahead full steam. We also did some fixing up of the old pools. They're very old pools that really were in quite a bit of disrepair. They needed a lot of work to be done, so we're almost done with all of that, and we are on target to open right after Memorial Day, and that project is moving full steam ahead. At the last town board meeting, I mentioned that we applied for a $1.5 million salt barn grant through U.S. Congressman Pat Ryan's office. We received confirmation that Pat Ryan will be submitting that to the federal budget for full funding for the project, so it's not a guarantee of grant funding or award, but it is a necessary step toward receiving grant funding for a new salt barn for the town of Warwick. As you heard today during the public hearing, we are applying for $275,000 to support new bathrooms, as well as parking improvements and a first aid station at Mountain Lake Park, right by the pickleball courts. The Jane Street Bridge project is moving ahead quite well. We're nearly at 40% design. This is a state-funded, grant-funded project that will be between $4 and $6 million, so it's a very large project. We've got to follow the very restrictive design standards that the New York State DOT has set, since this is funded by the New York State DOT. It's a town bridge, town project that we got grant money for. And anytime you get grant money from the state of New York or anywhere, all that means is it's going to cost more and it's going to take more time. So, you know, for the people of the Village of Florida, this bridge has been closed for many years. We're doing everything we can to get this moving as quickly as possible. Once we have the 40% design done, we'll be able to get another cost estimate of the project, which we anticipate, as I said, to be between $4 and $6 million. Inflation has skyrocketed, and the cost of materials has really risen quite dramatically, so we expect the number is going to be closer to 6. We're making great progress on the multi-use trail. This is a project that is jointly being conducted between the Village of Warwick and the Town of Warwick to construct a multi-use trail between the downtown Village of Warwick and the central shopping district by Price Chopper and ShopRite. This will be similar to the Heritage Trail that runs through Goshen, where you can ride a bike, you can walk, you can recreate and basically commute, if you will, from the downtown Village of Warwick to Price Chopper, ShopRite area. The mayor and I are both partnering on this, and we're meeting with each of the stakeholders along the route to get support, get buy-in. We've met with almost all of them, and every single property owner along that route is incredibly supportive. We're working on some minor easements that need to happen along the route. Additionally, the Town of Warwick has applied for funding from Orange County to purchase a 27-acre parcel of land on Route 94 South, just on the north side of Price Chopper. That is a great piece of land that will essentially serve as a midway park between the Village of Warwick and ShopRite Price Chopper area. And it'll be a public park that is open to the general public. Could be an animal sanctuary, bird sanctuary, and a really nice place for people to enjoy as they're walking that trail. Let's see. We are making great progress on the Arboretum and Amphitheater at Wickham Woodlands Park. This is a fully grant-funded project that will build an amphitheater right overlooking the water within the prison property, as well as a new arboretum that will be a new public park within the fence line. So if you go to the prison complex and you walk around the loop and you notice that there's a fence, a big fence, separating the interior park from the exterior park, that whole section inside will become a full arboretum and an amphitheater where we intend to have concerts, plays, and educational activities and things like that. So really looking forward to getting that project going, and we expect to break ground probably in the summer or the fall for that project. Centennial Park, located in the Village of Greenwood Lake, is another project that the town is undertaking to convert what was an old house. It was purchased by the town about 6 or 7 years ago, and that is going to be Centennial Park, an addition of the Thomas Morahan Waterfront Park. but it will commemorate the village's 100-year anniversary that they celebrated last year. We have engaged with a company called Venergy Solutions to do a full energy audit on every single town building, including all of our water buildings, sewer buildings, public park buildings. Obviously, as we're all seeing energy costs skyrocket, it's up to us to make sure that we're keeping those costs under control as best we can. So we're going to do a comprehensive no-cost energy audit to evaluate every single one of these buildings and determine ways that we can possibly save some money on our energy costs. The town board and a committee have been working very hard on a battery energy storage law, led by Councilman Cowell, and we expect to be presenting that to the town board, I would say, if not at our next meeting, the following meeting. That will be a law prohibiting large-scale battery storage facilities within the town of Warwick, and it will be open to public hearing, where we'll present it for public comment, and anyone who has anything to say about that will have a really good opportunity to do so during the public hearing portion of that process. I started 2 months ago an initiative called Coffee with the Supervisor, where myself, along with all of our town department heads, go to a different part of town every month, and we have coffee with each other, we have coffee with the public. And it's been a great way for not only department heads to finally meet each other, some of whom have never met. We've got a lot of department heads, and you know, Dial-A-Bus was able to meet Matt and Recreation Director and other people. It's been a great opportunity to collaborate and work on different initiatives, but it's really been a valuable experience to see residents being able to come to one location, not Town Hall, but go to a location where you have a captive audience of all department heads, myself, the town board members, and you can ask questions, get answers to things, and really work to solve problems. And this initiative, Warwick is the biggest town in Orange County, so this allows us to bring our department heads to every corner of the town of Warwick. And we plan on doing this every single month indefinitely. It's not a for and done. The next one will be in the Village of Florida, and that'll be June 16th. And then the following one will be in Greenwood Lake on July 21st. And then we will announce the next locations and the next rounds of those meetings going forward. And they're obviously open to the public, and we encourage anyone to come meet with myself, the police chief, DPW, water sewer, parks, the town assessor, the town clerk, the Dial-A-Bus, you name it, building inspector, everyone's there. It's great. At the last meeting, I announced that we were looking to revive the Architectural Review Board within the town of Warwick. This is a committee that exists in town law, but has been inactive for many years. The last project that they worked on was Price Chopper many, many years ago. We received immediately after the notification on Facebook 15 applicants for people who wanted to join the Architectural Review Board. And it was incredible, the number of licensed architects who wanted to be on the committee. I don't know if we want 7 licensed architects all arguing about architectural design. I don't know how much progress we'd make, so we're going to make it a really nice committee of licensed architects as well as other professionals that are in that world. So at the next town board meeting, we're continuing to interview applicants for the membership on the ARB, and at the next town board meeting, we will be selecting and appointing those members to fill that very important board. The town board will be applying for a green initiative grant program to install water meters, not only install but replace all of our water meters throughout the town's water districts. We have 7 or 9 water districts. Nine water districts throughout the town of Warwick, and it's critical that each of those households and commercial businesses are metered, and unfortunately the small amount of users we have that are on meters, those meters are outdated. So we're going to apply for a grant to not only replace those meters, but put new meters where they don't currently exist. And then just a quick PDR update. We've got 2 farms that are going to be closing within the next month. Burt Farm, which is just outside of the Village of Warwick, which is a 120-acre farm, as well as the Tice Shepherd Farm, which is a farm located on Jessup Road, which is 62 acres. Both of those will be closing very soon. We have 2 applications for PDR in progress. One is a 24-acre parcel on Route 94 South, which I described before, and the other is a 30-acre tree farm. In addition, we have the 300-acre Conference Center Woodlands area that we've applied for, but is also scheduled to close regardless of grant funding in August of this year. So that will be preserved, 300-acre property, forever preserved, never to be developed within the town. This time, that concludes my report, and we will move into privilege of the floor on any agenda item. So we'll have a public comment on anything after we go through the agenda items, but if anyone would like to comment on agenda items before we vote on resolutions, now would be your time to do so. Anyone want to comment on resolutions? Okay. Now we'll move into the resolutions phase, and we'll begin adopting resolutions.
Okay. Motion to adopt the following resolution. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Warwick, Town Board, finds that there is a critical public interest need to impose a 6-month moratorium on the issuance of commercial door-to-door peddling and/or solicitation and permits and licenses moratorium, and whereas Chapter 112, titled Peddling and Soliciting of the Code of the Town of Warwick, currently contains permit and license requirements for commercial peddlers and solicitors, which establishes a regulatory framework related to peddlers and/or solicitors. It has come to the town board attention that the acts of peddling solicitation can be alarming to town residents, particularly when the peddler or solicitor knocks on a resident's door, rings the doorbell, or otherwise attempts to contact that resident while in their residence. And whereas the town board finds that Chapter 112 of the town code established initial requirements governing the commercial peddling and solicitation, but the standards prescribed for these permits and licenses do not adequately address the welfare and safety concerns that have come to the town board's attention, including but not limited to a lack of criminal history searches, background checks for peddlers and/or solicitors, a lack of protection for residents' tranquility and privacy and a mechanism for town residents to opt out of unwanted contact from peddlers and/or solicitors at their residence. And whereas considering the safety, well-being, and privacy concerns among the community association with solicitors and/or peddlers soliciting on private property for the well-being of both peddlers and/or solicitors and town residents, these circumstances require that the town board undertake without delay a review of the existing sections of Chapter 112 of the Town Code in order to determine whether and or how these regulations should be amended, particularly with regard to the feasibility of more stringent licensing requirements and procedures, as well as implementation of a no-knock registry containing a list of property owners within the town that opt out of being subject to peddling and/or solicitation. And whereas this moratorium will not apply to bona fide not-for-profit organizations and their employees or members, religious or political door-to-door activity, this moratorium shall not apply to local utility companies providing service within the town of Warwick, such as Orange and Rockland, WTB Fiber, Archtop Fiber, Optimum Online, and what?
Whereas?
Oh, and whereas duly noticed public hearing shall be held on this day, May 14th, 2026. Now therefore be it resolved that the proposed introductory local law number 1 is hereby adopted as local law number 1 of 2026 to the number in accordance with the law. Be it further resolved that the town board hereby directs its town clerk to enter said local law in the minutes of this meeting, to enter such law in the local law book in the town of Warwick, and to give due notice of the adoption of said local law to the Secretary of State of New York, and to take all steps to process and file the said local law amendment to the state of New York. Be it further resolved that the local law shall be designated as local law number 1 of 2026, a local law implementing a moratorium on the issuance of licenses and permits for door-to-door commercial solicitors and/or peddlers. Be it enacted by the town board of the town of Warwick as follows. Section 1, legislative findings and intent. The town board of the town of Warwick and Warwick, New York, the town, hereby finds that there are critical and compelling need in the public interest to set forth therein to impose a 6-month moratorium on commercial door-to-door solicitation permits as further described hereafter. A, The town previously undertook regulations with respect to peddling and solicitation as defined in the Town of Warwick Code, Chapter 112. A peddler, as defined, is any person, agent, consignee, owner, or employee traveling by foot or using any type of wagon, cart, vehicle, or conveyance whatsoever, whether traveling from place to place or remaining in the same location, who offers or exposes for sale any goods, wares, or food of any kind whatsoever, or who makes sales and delivers articles to purchasers, who solicits orders and as a separate transaction makes deliveries to purchasers. The term peddler shall include hawker or huckster. B, a solicitor as defined therein is any person wherein as owner, agent, cosigner, or employee traveling by foot or any type of wagon, cart, vehicle, or conveyance whatsoever from place to place, house to house, or street to street, who attempts to take orders for future delivery of goods, magazines, wares, merchandise, personal property of any kind whatsoever, or for the services to be performed or furnished at a future date, whether or not advance payment is collected. Such definition shall include any person who temporarily hires, leases, uses, or occupies any premise or part thereof for the sole purpose of exhibiting.
Russ, read this one. Give me yours. So a couple typos.
Okay. Exhibiting samples and/or taking orders for future delivery. D, under current legislative framework, Town Code Section 112 requires that any person wishing to engage in the business of a peddler or solicitor as defined in Section 112 above, within the bounds of the Town of Warwick, must first apply for and subsequently obtain a permit from the Town of Warwick to do so. E, the inclusion of the license requirement was an attempt to establish regulatory framework related to peddlers and/or solicitors as it had come to the town board's attention that the acts of solicitation and/or peddling can be alarming to town residents. It has since come to the town board's attention that this cause for concern becomes more acute when the solicitor knocks on someone's door, rings the doorbell, or otherwise attempts to contact that individual while the resident is in his abode. F, forever, throughout the duration of this moratorium, the board will review the feasibility of more stringent licensing application requirements related to those applicants seeking licensing-related agreements to soliciting and/or peddling goods within the bounds of the town, and allow residents to opt out of solicitation by being included in a no-knock registry provided to door-to-door solicitors. G, Town Board finds that the Town Code section related to peddling and solicitation establishing initial requirements governing peddling and solicitation. However, the standards prescribed for these licenses do not adequately address the safety concerns that has come to the board's attention, but not limited to a lack of criminal history searches, background checks, the ability to solicit and/or peddle on private property, and no current mechanism by which, at present, for residents to opt out of receiving solicitors or peddlers on their private property. Moreover, there are also community concerns that have been brought to the board's attention that the penalties for noncompliance may not be adequate at this juncture. H, considering the large concern amongst the community associated with solicitors and/or peddlers soliciting on private property, with perceived and potential lax enforcement mechanisms present in the current legislative framework, amid rampant and privacy and as well as safety concerns for the well-being of both peddlers, solicitors, as well as homeowners, these circumstances require that the town board undertake without delay a review of the existing sections of the town code related to peddling and solicitation in order to determine whether these regulations should be amended or otherwise changed, particularly with regard to matters related to the feasibility of a more stringent licensing procedure, as well as an enforced no-knock list of potential owners within the town to ensure that peddlers and solicitors do not present themselves on private property. The town board hereby finds that the adoption of a moratorium on the issuance of permits related to commercial, door-to-door peddling, and/or soliciting is required in order to best maintain the status quo during the study period in order to prevent interim action, friction, interaction, or issues between door-to-door solicitors, peddlers, and town residents from frustrating the objectives of the study. K, the moratorium will not apply to the bona fide, not-for-profit organizations and their employees or members, religious or political door-to-door activity. This moratorium shall not apply to local utility companies providing service with the town of Warwick, such as Orange and Rockland Utility Company, WTB Fiber, Archtop Fiber, and Optimum Online. Section 2, scope of the moratorium. Moratorium of the issuance of all peddling and/or soliciting applications and permits for door-to-door commercial peddling and/or soliciting by the town clerk or any official, employee, board or entity within the town of Warwick. This law will not otherwise nullify, void, nullify, or in any way supersede, interfere with, or contradict any code sections related to enforcement, penalization, or prosecution of individuals or entities who violate the current town code sections related to peddling and solicitation and licensing and permission while this moratorium is in effect. Nothing herein should be construed to allow commercial door-to-door peddling and/or solicitation during this period, as the moratorium is only related to the issuance of the permits, not as to the requirement to possess a duly issued permit related to peddling or solicitation. Section 3, application of law to existing applications. This law shall supersede any and all town law and other provisions of law, rule, or regulation that requires specific action upon application related to the issuance of a peddler's or solicitor's permit or license or ability to do so. The moratorium will be effective to any permits that have been issued within 30 days of the passage of this local law. This moratorium is being adopted by local law pursuant to the municipal home rule law procedures, and this moratorium suspends any ability of the town of Warwick to issue peddler or solicitor permits. This moratorium supersedes any town law or town code provisions that, to the contrary, that require any specific action on an application by any town board, any or official or employee within the town. The moratorium law also supersedes any New York State or local laws, rules, or regulations pertaining to the grant of any variance authority or relevant Board of Appeals related to the issuance or denial of permits under the current town code. It is being the intent of the local law that any grant or of permission related to any permit by any employee, board, or official is hereby superseded by this law. 4, expiration of moratorium. This local law shall expire without further action of the board 6 months following the effective date thereof, and thereafter shall be no force or effect. However, if it appears that any required review or study referred to the here and above will not be completed within 6 months from the effective date of this local law, that the board may, by local law, extend the period of this moratorium for an additional 6 months for such other time or such other time period that the town board determines is reasonable in scope of the duration. Section 5, Environment State Quality Review Act. Pursuant to 6 NYCRR 617, Section 30, this local law is classified as a Type 2 action and requires no further review under the State Environmental Quality Review Act. Section 6, Severability. If any clause, sentence, paragraph, section, or other part of this law shall be adjudged by any court of competent jurisdiction to be invalid, Such judgment shall not affect, impair, or validate the remainder thereof, but shall be confined to its operation to the clause, sentence, paragraph, section, or part thereof directly involved in the controversy in which the judgment shall have been rendered. Section 7, effective date. This local law shall become effective immediately upon being filed by the Secretary of State.
Second.
The clerk will do a roll call vote.
Supervisor Dwyer? Councilman Cole?
Aye.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Aye.
Councilman Schuback?
Aye.
Councilman Mattingly?
Aye.
Motion carried, 5 ayes, 0 nays.
Thank you.
Motion to adopt the following resolution. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Warwick, New York, 30311 hereby establishes the following as a standard workdays for elected and appointed officials, and will report the following day's work to the New York State and local employees' retirement system based on the timekeeping system records or the record of activities maintained and submitted by this official to the clerk of this body. Elected officials, receiver of taxes 6.5 hours, Anna Khan's record of activity 11.5, town councilman 6.5 hours, Kevin Schuback through January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 28, 2.8. Town councilman 6.5 hours, Floyd D'Angelo, January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 28, 3.67 hours. Town clerk 6.5 hours, Eileen M. Astorino, January 1st, 26 through December 31st, 28, 21.8 hours. And town justice 6.5 hours, Peter Barlett, January 1st, 26 through December 31st, 28, 2.81 hours.
Do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to waive the special event fee for the Hudson Valley Catskill Lions for an event to benefit childhood cancer and rental fee to use Woodland Park.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to approve a special event permit to the Hudson Valley Catskill Lions District 20-0 as to host a cancer walk benefiting childhood cancer. The event will take place at Wickham Woodlands Park on June 13th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt a resolution to waive the Mountain Lake Park application fee for local nonprofit group Small Things to host the Warwick Food Truck Festival, June 4th, 2026, and July 2nd, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the NYSLA landlord authorization form for the following events at Mountain Lake Park, June 4th, 2026. Warwick Food Truck Festival, July 2nd, 2026. Warwick Food Truck Festival.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to approve a special event permit to the Green Lake Middle School Club to host a garage sale benefiting the Green Lake Food Pantry and Tunnel to Towers Foundation. The event will take place at Benwood Stanley Park on June 13th, 2026 from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to waive the fee for a special event permit for the Greenwood Lake Middle School Club and the rental fee for the use of Benwood Stanley Park to host a garage sale.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to accept the resignation of Aaron London as an animal control officer effective April 25th, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to authorize the Department of Public Works Commissioner to attend the 2026 Highway Superintendent Training held in Ithaca, New York from May 31st through June 3rd, 2026. Funds for these training sessions are in the current budget.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt a resolution to grant permission to the following applicants to serve alcohol at Town of Warwick parks and rental facilities. The applicants have filed a certificate of liability and liquor liability in the town clerk's office. List as follows.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to accept bid for proposal to fill the new Mountain Lake pools with water from Mallory Trucking in the amount not to exceed $470 per load.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to accept notice of intent letter to retire from the Town of Warwick Assessor Deborah A. Urick dated May 4th, 2026, for the purpose of retirement at least 6 months after notification of intent.
Second.
Motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the NYSLA landlord authorization form for the following event at Thomas Morahan Park, July 4th, 2026, BPO Elks 2067.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to schedule a public hearing for induction wall number 2 of 2026, entitled Zone Change Highway 3 LLC, a local law amending the zoning district of Promise located on Kings Highway, SBL 94-4-55.2, from the Office Industrial Park Zoning District, OI Zone, to the Suburban Residential Medium Density District, SM Zone. Said hearing to be held on Thursday, June 11th, 2026, at 7 p.m. on or sooner thereafter, as matter to be heard at the Town of Warwick Town Hall, 132 Kings Highway, Warwick, New York.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to accept the bid proposal from Seal Pro, Inc. for the seal coating of the Warwick Transit parking lot in the amount not to exceed $12,400.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to approve 2 special event flea markets at the Edenville Deli on May 30th with a rain date of June 6th and June 27th with a rain date of July 4th, 2026, from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. to benefit the RJR Memorial.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to authorize the Assistant Assessor to attend the Institute of Assessing Officers Seminar on Appraising at Cornell University from July 9th through 24th, 2026. Funds for these training sessions are in the current budget.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Motion to adopt a bid proposal from Ground Control Excavating for the final grading and site work for the water infiltration and drainage improvements at Mountain Lake Park in an amount not to exceed $29,975 to be paid from the remaining balance withheld from jewelry excavating contracts on an account of unfinished work.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Motion to adopt a resolution to authorize the supervisor to sign the 2025 Service Award Program Certificate, LoSAP, for the Greenwood Lake Volunteer Ambulance Corps.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt the following lifeguards for the 2026 Mountain Lake Park Pool. Mary Catherine Corin, senior lifeguard, at a rate of $18 per hour. Curtis Langone, lifeguard, at a rate of $16 per hour. Aiden Harvey, lifeguard and swim instructor, $16.50 and $18. Faith Suka, senior lifeguard, $18.50. Max Hartman, co-head lifeguard, $20.50. Lillian Joycelyn, lifeguard and swim instructor, $16.50 and $18.50. Madison LaJoy, lifeguard and swim instructor, $16.50 and $18.50. And Mark Wishnia, lifeguard and swim instructor, $16.50 and $18.50.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to appoint Charlotte Hillier as a part-time police dispatcher at a pay rate of $22.50 per hour, subject to Orange County approval, effective May 16th, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. I make a motion to adopt a resolution that the Town of Warwick is hereby submitting its application for consideration under the fiscal year 2027 Orange Urban County Consortium Community Development Program, and the chief elected official or executive officer, me, is hereby authorized to submit this application for Mountain Lake Park ADA parking and bathroom improvements for construction costs as described in the proposal. Input from citizens and groups has been received and considered, and the application has been prepared, which addresses their community concerns. They further certify that they have read and understood the Orange Urban County Consortium Community Development Guidelines for the fiscal year 2027 program year and have met all its applicable requirements, and that the information contained in the application is accurate and true to the best of their knowledge. If awarded CDBG funds, the municipality shall implement the activities in a manner to ensure compliance with all applicable federal, state, and local laws and regulations.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Oh, there's still people here after that? Wow. Troopers. At this time, we will open it up to privilege of the floor on any general topic. Anything at all. Are you guys here for some school project or civic responsibility?
I'm here for the citizenship of the community merit badge.
Do you have to ask any questions or do anything? Because we only give you credit if you actually stand up and ask a question. Here, come on up, introduce yourself. You can do it. Come up to the podium and introduce yourself. You get a good start. There's only 10,000 people watching from home. Although a lot of them may have left after that one resolution, to be honest with you.
All right. Hi, I'm Aiden Cullen. I'm with the Troop 45 of Warwick, and I have a question about specifically the road work. Like, I heard about the situation with Florida's Main Street. Like, I heard like it's not really in like good shape. So, what's the deal with that? Like, how is the road work on that street going to be carried out?
So it's a great question, and it's a very difficult situation because we've got old infrastructure, right? Old roads, old bridges, old pipes under the roads, potholes, as I'm sure you've noticed before they started this, and it looks like it's even worse than when they started. So you wonder, what are they actually doing? Are they fixing anything, or are they making it worse? But the problem with projects like this is you have to almost make it worse before it gets any better. We had a news reporter report the worst Main Street and basically declaring Florida as the worst Main Street, completely omitting the fact that it's under construction and getting a major uplift through state resources. So we consider ourselves very lucky because this is a state-funded project where they're spending $30 million to rehab our infrastructure and our roads. But unfortunately, you have to walk a fine line between killing local businesses and repairing infrastructure. So I think the state is doing a great job. I think the contractors are doing a great job. You're hearing a lot of complaints from residents, but I don't know which was louder, when they were complaining about the potholes or they're complaining about traffic. So it's a very tricky situation. We're grateful that the state is making the investment in the town of Warwick, but it's going to take a little bit longer. They've got a lot more work that they have to do, not only in the village of Florida, but the village of Warwick and a lot of our other town roads. We just have to be patient and know and understand that it's for the greater good, and the long-term benefit of this big investment is going to far outweigh the short-term inconvenience that we're all feeling.
All right. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for coming up. We appreciate you coming to our board meeting. And good luck with your scouting journey.
Thank you.
Did you have anything? Did you want to come up and ask a question? Okay. You can introduce yourself. You can talk about anything you want. You can not say anything. I was joking. We don't really, I won't tell your scout leader or anything, but you have an opportunity if you wanted to ask anything. Okay. Great. You came to a good meeting. There's a lot of interesting stuff. Yes?
Can I take his question?
Of course you may. If you wouldn't mind coming up to the podium and stating your name for the record. You don't have to. You don't have to if you don't want to. So then you can just ask your question from the seat if you'd like.
I was just wondering how we can put in bids for, like, the paving companies that put in bids. Do you guys seek out companies, or can a company come to you and put in a bid? How does this?
For which paving? Like what the state's doing or the work that we're going to do in the town?
For the Warwick Transit.
Oh, the seal coating.
Say like future, I know you guys just voted on this now.
Right.
But for, say, like, future projects, if you guys are seeking out, like,
Yeah. So historically, what we would do, if it's under a certain dollar amount, we would just go to companies that we know. You have to get a minimum of 3 quotes. So in this case, we got 4 quotes from 4 companies that we know are in the seal coating business. But if you have or know someone with a seal coating or paving company, they can drop off a card to either me or the DPW. And whenever these bids come up, they'll put them on the list of people to contact. And that goes for anything. If you're a plumber, if you're an engineer, if you're an architect, if you're, a sludge hauler, whatever you are, we don't know what you do unless you bring us a card and let us know that you're interested in the job. Now, if it's a larger job, say a public works contract greater than $35,000, then we have to go out to an RFP, which is a request for proposals. And we would publish the notification in the newspaper. We would announce it here for any larger bids. When we do our paving, like our $1 million paving work that we try to do every year, that we usually piggyback off of the state contract. So the state will award a bid for a regional contractor to do all the major paving work, and they would put a dollar value per ton, and we would just use that contract, which we're allowed to do. Most local contractors can't generally do $1 million worth of paving, that we found anyway, or they're not interested in it, or their price would be too high because they don't do enough volume. But the smaller contracts like seal coating parking lots, just drop off a card and we'd be more than happy to call you. Great, no problem. Do you want to say your name for the record or no? The clerk is asking me. I'm not forcing you, you don't have to. Stephanie, there you go. All right, anyone else have any comments, questions, concerns, anything they'd like to bring up? No? All right. The next town board meeting will be Thursday, May 28, 2026. It will begin at 7 p.m., and as always, it may be preceded by a workshop as early as 5:30 p.m. And I would like to thank everybody for coming here tonight, and I make a motion that we close this meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you.